And that is how we get it on a Football Friday. What is good? DTL Universe. It is, as Edson said in the chat, a beautiful, glorious Friday morning where it's all football all the time. And for you OGs and degenerates out there, we'll have a little bit of baseball for you at the breaks on our YouTube page. But we are live every single weekday morning on Stadium. Wherever you can find Stadium, you will find us. How about Amazon Prime Video? Got it on my big screen right next to me. How about YouTube TV, Roku TV, the Stadium app, watchstadium.com. We are everywhere. And it's a big weekend. It is a big weekend. Now, before we look forward, as always, we must look back. Last night, well, part of our crew, they were very, very happy because they were all over the Falcons, and the Bucs couldn't figure out how to close a game out twice in the last 3 minutes. So a bunch of check marks, some X's, but when you got a bunch of plays, that's exactly how it goes. Hopefully the plays that you played, you won more than you lost, because that's the entire point. Now, I got the best crew in the business. We also have a very fresh, it's not just the audio in the morning, a very fresh DTL podcast every single day. The audio drops. Today it'll be a little bit later because producer man is on vacation today. So it'll drop around 3:30 in the afternoon, but you'll still get it for you premium members. You will get that video as well. Now, let's bring in my partner because he has been working overtime the last 24 hours. And AB, I got to tell you, the work that you're putting in right now is freaking next level. Good morning. Welcome to Football Friday.
Hey, good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. Hey, you know what? Just follow producer, man. He set it up nicely. Had us looking good last night. Got us looking good today. 30,000 feet in the air. So got to give a shout out on that.
He wanted to produce from the airplane today. He asked us if he could.
You know, I almost said do it just because I think that's the only place that we haven't ever done a show from. Produced. He would have been the first.
Are you allowed back at McDonald's yet after that day?
No.
Yeah. You walk in, give me a number 4. No, Mr. Bill, could you please leave the building?
No. We're betting on Wendy's these days. No, kidding.
I actually had Wendy's last night.
It's good.
It's not my new diet, but yeah, I had. You're gonna laugh. I got the fries.
Oh, their fries are good.
Night.
Yeah, their fries are solid, man. Their chicken's are good too.
Yeah, I had to drop JJ off after a big school event, so I need a little bit of a snack. You know who also likes snacks, AB?
Who's that?
Our man Howie Schwab. And today would have been an F day for him. What are the crew play of the day selections, sir?
All right, so it's a fascinating Friday night, which you're right. That's exactly what Howie Schwab would have loved. We've got Michigan State, Oregon. All right, Oregon getting ready for that battle against Ohio State next week, but they've got Michigan State tonight. So one game, 4 options here. Michigan State plus 23.5, Oregon minus 23.5. You're going to go with the over 52.5 or the under 52.5. Polls in the chat. Vote now. Update as we always do at the end of the show.
You're damn right. Jason in the chat, very important. He says the new sauce with the nuggets, pretty good at Wendy's. Pretty good. Wendy's. We got you. All right, we got the best crew in the business standing by. We got a lot of picks to get to today and a lot of information as well. That's what we call it, sports and sports betting. So, AB, if you don't mind, it's time for the picks. And we have 3 of our absolute very best coming in, looking fly, ready to go. Backgrounds are, oh no, soupy. Well, I asked, what happened, Soupy? What happened?
Today I am in my daughter's room doing the show, but let me ask. All right. This was option B. This was option B. Should I have gone with this and would that have looked good?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you want to refer to DG? Okay, yeah, that would have worked.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, I guess I can't do what I wanted to do with Soupy today, but we'll get to that. If I remember correctly, that's Ben Gordon from Utah.
It is.
Correct?
Yes, the legendary Ben Gordon.
Yeah, that would have fit you in the 6th grade, by the way. Next, he is live from Memphis, Tennessee. DG, he is Soupy's bitter rival. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. We were just 1 little yard away from getting a sweep yesterday. Sneaky Toes helped us out for sure.
Yeah, I am not happy. I mean, if you're Baker Mayfield, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I'm telling you right now, if I get one more text from Charles right after I lose a bet, I'm telling you right now, it won't be good for me and you in our relationship. Here's what happened last night. I lose my play in the most ridiculous way possible, and I get a meme or a GIF of what's his name doing the dirty bird, whoever that number 32 was. Like immediately when the game was over. Immediately.
Well, I'll say this. I don't know what in the world Kirk Cousins was doing after the game. He was doing some kind of modified Shohei Ohtani deal. And did we not nail that game last night that these two defenses and dime would give you every single pass in front of them?
I think you hit your bet in the third quarter with the completions, right?
Yeah. Kirk Cousins had 41 on his own.
Oh, my God. Over 500 yards passing. Big Chuck, later in the show, you got your 5-pack today, but there's no Serie A today. What's going on?
Morning, Coach Crew. Yes, Serie A, they just didn't make the card, but we have 5 fantastic plays, so I think they'll be up to par for us.
Oh, thank you to Caleb. It was Jamal Anderson in that GIF sent by Charles, who, wow, he could be seeing his days going down very, very, very quickly. All right, we got a lot to get to. It is Football Friday here on DTL Live on Stadium, and I just saw Soupy's big face come up on my TV right next to me. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. All right, we got games today. We have games tomorrow. And AB, Oregon is a team that low-key could be a player as we get later in the season. Let's start right there.
Oregon's going to be a good football team. Now, here's what they've got tonight. All right, facing Michigan State, as we said, they're 23.5-point favorites. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Oregon first half team total over 20.5. Then we're going to take Oregon second half team total over 16.5. So we're getting these numbers under the keys of 21 and 17. Now, if you are a mathematician and smarter than I am, you could also play Michigan State plus 23.5 with these two plays, because if you play those three, you're almost guaranteeing 2 out of 3, because then with these low team totals coupled with the underdog at plus 23.5, there are like 4 ways that you don't hit almost all of them, right? Like it's almost impossible in regards to that. So I'm going to get down with the first half of the second half, but anybody who wants to add in Michigan State plus 23.5, it's not a bad move.
Educate and entertain, ladies and gentlemen. Educate and entertain. Listen to my boy, AB. There's so many different ways to skin a cat, as my grandmother used to say. Now, Big Soupy, let me come over to you, because you have 2 college plays today, and you got to have some guts if you're going to play an under in the 30s, but also there's only one game this weekend that matches up ranked teams, and you got to play there. Let's start in Texas, if you don't mind.
Yeah, this is going to be Michigan State's biggest test. And their last 2, they played some close games against Boston College and Vanderbilt. So I'm a little nervous for this game. Brady Cook, he's good. He's been efficient, but he's lost that explosiveness that he had last year. 17th in explosive pass last season, 102nd this year. And Texas A&M, they've been a very good defense this year. They are going to pressure that Missouri offensive line, and they can force turnovers. 4 games this year, they have multiple takeaways while having no giveaways. That's why I'm taking them for the upset this weekend. And you're looking at my under, and you're thinking that I'm crazy, but guess what? I am an armed service football sicko. This year in run play percentage are Army 88%, Navy 78%, Air Force 77%. In the last 54 games between armed services, 44, 9, and 1 have hit the under.
I would love to see the inside of Soupy's head when he's trying to look at those percentages and figure out what he's going to play today in that damn game.
Oh, armed services, always the under.
Oh,
it will happen all year.
You'll be all over that Army-Navy game later today. By the way, 2 top 10 teams this weekend are road underdogs, and Missouri is one of those with Texas A&M. All right, DG, you got 4 big plays today, including what has become like your favorite team coming out of Hoosier land. Let's start there.
Yeah, we've already hit on Indiana minus 13.5 for the game. But when I saw this number, I was shocked. Indiana first half team total over 13.5. It's minus 130. A little juicy, but we love the juice there. But they've scored 14 in each game this season. Northwest just allowed 17 to Washington. So take this number. All right, we're going to go to the NFL. This is at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time kickoff. So make sure you get this one in early. Garrett Wilson over 52.5 receiving yards at minus 114. Minnesota allows the most receiving yards to the wide receiver position. They've let every single number one go over their number this season. We're going to go to a field goal kicker, and that's Austin Seibert over 1.5 field goals at minus 115. He's 2 of 4 on the season, but the weather looks good. I expect him to go against a Jets team that allows a lot of field goals. And we're going to go to Josh Jacobs over 62.5 rushing yards, minus 114. Just like we talked about Garrett Wilson, the Rams allow the most running back position rushing yards. We're going to go over this again. Josh Jacobs over 62.5 rushing yards at minus 114.
And they need a really good performance this week. They really do. And they need Josh Jacobs to step up. Now,
okay, real quick. We do have to signify. All right, the graphic said 52. Is it 62?
62.5 for Jacobs.
All right,
Okay,
62.5.
Yep. That's probably my fault again.
It's not mine. No.
Yeah, we'll make that very clear. The term cut and paste is very much in play here. All right, so 62.5 for Josh Jacobs this week, minus the 114. Now, we're getting ready to throw something at you that is crazy. AB went into the lab last night, and we've been talking about that PrizePicks is kind of perfect for what we do here at DTL. And it just so happens, Soupy, that you are now employed by said PrizePicks. So I know you sent in some today, so I want you and AB to kind of take over and explain, because it's different verbiage. It's not the same thing, but it's a ton of fun. Take it away.
Yeah, what they're doing over at PrizePicks, it's an incredible opportunity. You have props, but you play it like a fantasy lineup. Now, I'm just going to show you here. As you can see, there looks like a demon and a goblin. So what a goblin is, it's an easier play. So it's always the lesser number, the smallest number. That's sort of your safe play. And then with the demon, it's your toughest play, but it's what they call 100 times multiplier. So if you hit that, you are guaranteed to win your lineup. So I'm going to give you my 3, 1 demon, 1 goblin, 1 normal play. Lamar Jackson, 249.5 yards. We saw Jaden Daniels a couple weeks ago, 250 yards. The Cincinnati secondary has been awful this year, and I think Lamar's going to be able to take advantage of it with that great offensive line. And Matthew Stafford, we know the guy throws picks. It's just what he does. And now he's going against the Packers, who have caught the most interceptions so far this season with 8. So give me him at over an interception. And let's go with Josh Jacobs. We're going with the safe play. I know DG has him at 162. I don't know what he has, but we're going with the safe play here with the Goblin over 49.5 rushing yards.
I feel like we only got 45 seconds, so nobody can talk really long here. But I feel like goblins and demons, that kind of fits into our universe perfectly with our cast of characters. AB?
It does, yeah. Plus, look, it's Halloween. It's spooky season, so it absolutely works out.
It really is. It really is. That looks, first of all, graphic, amazing. And PrizePicks, if you're not a part of what we're doing, I can't help you. I mean, this is freaking fantastic. There is no other show in America, and I will wait, that looks like this show. I'll wait. Doesn't exist. That's why we are the best, and we will continue to be the best. All right, great start to the show here. DTL Football Friday on Stadium. But still to come, we got to look forward to the NFL, college football, and also a little more in the Whiparound. We're just getting started live on Friday on Stadium. Okay, for all you degenerates out there that continue to watch here on our YouTube page, AB last night, Peter Alonso shocked the world. 3-run home run in the 9th inning to send Milwaukee back to their home since they played in Milwaukee. But now we've got 2 division matchups in the National League. Which one do we like more?
Pete Alonso and the Mets. Look, I hammer them when they do stupid stuff, and that's quite often. But they also bring excitement often, and they did last night. It was a massive bomb for Pete Alonso there and a big comeback on the road. So you got to give him huge credit there. I mean, look, Mets and Phillies. These two teams know each other, but then again, so do the Padres and the
Yes,
Dodgers.
sir.
This is great because you not only have two solid matchups, but you have two solid matchups of hate, which is exactly what you want in the playoffs, man. I'm excited for both of them. Mets and Phillies, I think, is going to be great, but I mean, I can't hate on the Padres Dodgers either.
Give me that edge. Both series, DG. Basically, you can go one highway from one to the other. That's how it works. Which one are you looking forward to more?
I really like that Padres and Dodgers series. Those two teams are probably playing the best. But if I could be honest, I hate it. Like, these are divisional rival, right? Like, I just hate it. Give me the Mets going against the Dodgers and the Phillies versus the Padres. Like, give me that. I haven't seen that as much, so I've seen the other.
Yeah.
Playing the part of Raphael today, ladies and gentlemen. DG. Soupy, talk to me.
It's got to be Phillies and Mets. Mets are the hottest team right now. They had to win a game on Monday to get into the playoffs, and then they had that incredible comeback last night. And Phillies, they are the best team in the National League. Great front rotation, great lineup. I think this is going to be an exciting series.
Big Chuck.
Absolutely Phillies Mets, because I like the Phillies now to win it all since my Orioles got bumped out. But I think that Royals Yankees may be interesting. Well, wouldn't that a story be if the Royals were to bump out the mighty Yankees?
Charles, do you think maybe we might hit the American League in the next break, perhaps?
Hey, Coach. All right, I wanted to add one thing. Make sure everybody Yeah, go ahead. Look at the bottom. It's best of 5 series, not 7.
There you go. Best of 5. And speaking of 5, we're back on Stadium in 5 seconds. All right, we continue on a glorious Football Friday here on Stadium, simulcast on our YouTube page. And it's all about football in the NFL. It's hard to believe, guys, that we're back and we're at week 5. And now 2 teams are going overseas early, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday morning. And don't think for a second that the body clocks are not working. So, AB, I want to start with a storyline in that first game, top left, because we've been talking about Kirk Cousins and that Achilles and getting back to playing healthy. He looked amazing last night. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is in that same mode, and the Minnesota Vikings are the only team that remains undefeated in the NFC. Is this an Aaron Rodgers coming out party?
Could be, but here's the thing. Travel in the NFL, regular road games, all right? What travels is running the ball and stopping the run. The Jets really aren't very good at either. The Vikings are good at both of them. Look, I'm going to roll in Minnesota. There's nothing that tells me to take the Jets. Nothing, right? They're a boring team. They don't really do anything well. They're just kind of there. I'll roll with Minnesota. Minnesota does the hard things very well. I'll take them.
They're just kind of there. That's a great description. That's how they've been playing. I mean, 10-9 against the Broncos in a home game, DG. That's what you're going to come off of. And now you've got a guy. Rare is the time that you can talk about one guy, Sam Darnold, and say he could be the comeback player of the year and potentially the MVP all in the same year. I know we're only a quarter of the way there, but this dude is playing amazing football, much better than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Sam Darnold is playing some of the best football, if not the best football right now. And so it's hard to go against them in this game. But like you said, you're going overseas. It's going to be a different animal. But I just think that that they have the better quarterback right now. And that's only because Aaron Rodgers is aging. Father of Time is undefeated. So Sam Darnold for sure has the leg up in this game.
Big John says, I'm taking the Vikings minus 2.5. I think Kevin O'Connell is legit. He's needed a little bit of time, John, but you're absolutely correct. Now, I'm going to go off the board for our next topic because, AB, I feel like when we have Raphael in the mix, it's always a pump the brakes type of week. But at some point, when a team only has one punt in 3 games and they go north of 40 in Arizona, they go north of 35 in Cincinnati, and Jaden Daniels looks like far from a rookie coming out of LSU. At what point do we give him some flowers?
I mean, we should already be doing it, right? I mean, it's amazing what Jaden Daniels is doing with his completion percentage. And look at the team. They're all feeding off of it. And especially when you have a young guy who is playing over his head, but is absolutely a humble and team guy, it goes a long way, man. Like what Jaden Daniels been doing, like we owe it to him already. Like this dude is legit, man. He's for sure. And Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury too. Like they get credit as well, man. This is everybody's moving in the right direction together.
Yeah, I like seeing that energy on the sidelines. I like these head coaches. They may not be the best in-game managers, Soupy, but damn it, are they getting their teams jacked up? And when the Commanders run out the field, there's Dan Quinn high-fiving everybody, and it's translating into points, into energy, and they're always ready to play.
I can't believe it. When we were doing the NFC East preview, we all just kind of wrote off the Commanders. Like, they got their rookie quarterback. It's over. We didn't like their offensive line, but Jaden Daniels has adjusted that. Of course, it's his ability to rush, to make positive yards, and they're all feeding off that. The defense is still not good, but Daniels and that offense has the ability to make up for that, and that is what kept them in contention this whole season. And I think they can legitimately win the NFC East.
Right now, they're in first place. And, Charles, you come from this neck of the woods. And our man Randall Mims from Mims Lumber said it before the draft. He was the best quarterback in the draft. And now, Charles, he's proving it.
I agree 100%. Yeah, he's showing out. And I always say the Bears have to be kicking themselves for passing on him and going with the pressure of taking Caleb. But as much as I love my man Jaden, I think this may be a stumbling block week or a close game. I think you may see the Browns come in and kind of give him a challenge. But, yeah, I'm riding with my boy Jaden all the way. He is the truth, and he's what this Commanders team has been missing.
So many weird matchups this week, and the Commanders and the Browns, kind of like a yuck game. And these are the games that we'll see if the focus for the rookie is there. Now, the only undefeated team in the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs, but it has been ugly every single step of the way. Patrick Mahomes is still trying to pull his team up that mountain. And AB, they're home this week, but they're playing a Saints team that have had a couple of stumbles themselves the last couple of weeks, but we've seen that if Alvin Kamara is healthy, they can be dynamic. Rasheed Rice placed on IR yesterday, so now the Chiefs got to figure it out. How are they going to get it done again?
If there's any team that can figure it out, it's them. They've done this before. However, you can't keep doing it, right? And here's the problem, all right? The Rasheed Rice injury, yes, it affects the offense, and everybody's going to talk about that. What it actually does is it affects the defense and Steve Spagnuolo, his squad, even more because it's going to leave them in even more brutal positions. If you're the Saints, you play field position and you actually don't slow the game down. You speed it up even more and you say, Kansas City, I don't think you could run with me. I don't think your offense could do it because you're out of options, all right? And if you're betting Patrick Mahomes rush attempts, do that. Trust me.
I still have PTSD from that game in Atlanta. I still do. I don't think it's ever been done, losing 7 yards and 3 kneel downs. But Patrick did it to ruin.
He is the weirdest kneel down I've ever seen. I don't understand it at all. Like, yeah.
DG, let me come over to you because the Chiefs did this last year. They never cover, although they did last week miraculously. But Patrick Mahomes is showing his greatness because now all of his weapons are gone. And now this week, every show that I watched talked about Travis Kelce being out of shape, which is a narrative that I went with the entire offseason. There's no way he could have been in shape with all the continents that he went to.
I don't believe it's Kelce out of shape. I just think that they were changing how they were going to run their offense, and they ran their offense through Rasheed Rice. Like they were making him the possession receiver that allows that, Kelce to have some time off. Now that Rice is gone, I'm curious exactly what happens with their team. Are they going to run the offense through Kelce now and put the load on him? If they can do that, then they can be a possession team as they've always done, and then hit anything up over the top as they always were doing. But I'm just not sure how they're going to do that. But if they can keep it going with Kelce, I think that they have a chance to win this game and still be really, really good throughout the year.
And I hope so, because everybody knows I'm a huge Chiefs fan. It's a struggle every week. Now, I know for a lot of you fantasy team owners out there, it could be a struggle trying to figure out who you're going to play, who you're going to sit. We try to help you out just a little bit. Soupy, big boy, what do we got this week?
Yeah, let's start with, I'm going with Justin Fields as my star. Are we going my star? Yep, there we go.
He'll follow you. Just keep going, Soupy. That's how it works.
I'm starting with Justin Fields as my starting quarterback, top fantasy quarterback last week. Now, I think he's going to play a big part in the rushing game. Cowboys 27th in rushing yards allowed. And give me Evan Engram because he is returning and he is going to dominate with the this week. I think he's one of Trevor Lawrence's favorite targets, and that is going to continue with an offense that has struggled. And now for my sits, Kyler Murray. He has not had the season we've all expected. 15 or less points in the last 3 games. In his last 4 games against San Francisco, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and Zamir White, he's just not doing it. I don't understand why they're not running that offense through him. He's kind of just like he was my big play for this year, but I just don't think that he's going to be efficient in this offense.
Very good. Robbie Hockey says Fields over rushing yards. Smashed that yesterday. Big Chuck, let me come to you. Is this going to be a Justin Fields continues to play, or is he kind of on the chopping block a little bit if he doesn't pick it up after their first loss a week ago?
Yeah, he continues to play, and I think he's going to have a pretty nice game against this Cowboys defense. I would look at him in his rushing yards. I think he's going to have a variety. So I think Mr. Fields goes off against this Cowboys defense.
I think so, too. Kyler Murray, as we come over to you, AB, I said this last week. I feel like when he gets behind and he doesn't like things, he just kind of quits. And they had a bunch of 3 and outs, and they were awful 3 and outs. This dude is just not a leader.
Coach, I believe in your industry, previous industry, they refer it to as he goes into business for himself. Kyler just starts chucking it down the field and throwing deep. Now, if you're Marvin Harrison Jr., you love it because you're tied for the lead in the NFL with receiving touchdowns. But no, I mean, he does. And the Cardinals are that team that looks good at the start. You're like, oh, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And then a quarter in, you're like, I should have listened to Soup. He had a bitch. This ain't going well at all.
That's how I felt last week. At least I was on the over in that game and not on the Cardinals. That was awful. By the way, this is just funny. Our man Mark, who's doing amazing work over at his website, International Hockey Play, Czech Republic, 3-way money line -140. And then you go down a couple, and John says, Mark, I think that we'd call that the degenerate play of the day.
He's battling Big Chuck on these teams that I can't pronounce.
I don't even know if most books have that play in international hockey.
It sounds like the beginning of a felony. That's what it sounds like.
Does anybody have a comment on the Czech Republic on the ice on October 4th?
Great blue
the
line.
NHL. The NHL is actually kicking off in the Czech Republic. They have a game today. It's the Sabres and the Devils are actually playing the first game in the Czech Republic.
Of course they do. DG, go.
Yeah, last one on Kyler Murray. So if anybody knows the Kyler curse, it's always out when Call of Duty or Black Ops comes out. Well, it comes out on October the 25th. Looks like Kyler's going to suck after that. So if you're wanting to trade him in your fantasy, do it now.
Wow. You will not get that information anywhere else. I can tell you that.
Because nobody else plays video games here but him.
I don't.
Wow. It felt like a shot.
It was.
Right between the eyes. All right, that is our NFL section. Do not forget that Sunday night, part of that Justin Fields game, the Steelers, they're part of Sunday Night Football. The 2 most OG franchises in the NFL, the Cowboys and the Steelers. We have a full hour of DTL Primetime Live on Sunday night on Stadium. Now, still to come, we've got a full weekend of college football. Also, we've got your 5-pack from Big Chuck. It's a Friday morning DTL on Stadium. All right, we continue on here on our YouTube page. By the way, I thought producer man AB was on an airplane, and he's now in the chat, and he's complaining about video games and what's wrong with playing them. What are we doing right now?
First off, I respect doing the show again from 30,000 feet in the air. You're always going to get my respect anytime you show up when your feet aren't on the ground. So nice job on that. We've got to start getting into esports. We need more of that, the betting aspect of it. I tried it once and got just my ass kicked. So, yeah.
You're right, though. We do need to do more esports as we
Yeah.
grow. I keep forgetting we've only been on the air for like 9 months.
Hey.
I feel like we've been here for years.
Somebody needs to take me. Look, I'm going on AOL this weekend. I've got a big Oregon Trail tournament, all right? Minus 3.5 family members die of dysentery.
That was one of the greatest games of all time.
All
Oregon
time.
Trail. You can spend all day.
You want to talk about? Oh yeah, you want to talk about a betting sweat? Go ford the river, all right? And when you're going, sweating, if you're gonna, and then your whole family dies. Like that's sweating.
Most of our crew has no clue about that game.
They don't, and that's a shame. That we'll put them on a tombstone for not knowing.
Are you saying our crew is not? They're not wise about the world? Is that what you're saying?
I just don't think they're 40.
Yeah, they're not old heads. Yeah, look, we used to play this in 3rd grade.
The other one, Atari, the Pitfall was my other favorite one too. I remember Pitfall. You get like 20 minutes to finish. Oh my gosh,
Pitfall, dude. Then you throw in like Carmen Sandiego. Oh yeah,
Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, where's her ass at? Yeah, trying to find her.
Wow,
her and her henchman.
Robbie says Raphael has his tape deck set up. I don't even need to read the rest of it. Holy smokes. He told us yesterday that he had a VCR and he was all proud of it, with the DVD combo in it next to him in his office.
Can't hide money.
Oh, that was a great. See, Charles, we couldn't talk about the American League because you had already done it, but that was a much better break. Much better break.
Had to get it in, didn't you? Had to get it in.
We are back in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's DTL on a glorious Football Friday. Having a great time here on Stadium Simulcast on YouTube as well. It's just me and Big Chuck right now, just the two of us, because there's a lot of you out there that love your soccer plays from Charles all week long. And the weekend is always busy, Charles. So I gave you a task at the start of the season. I said, I need a 5-pack, and I need it every single Friday. So I want to start first. Let me look at my notes with League One and Bundesliga. Let's start with those two.
We're going back to Marseille. They've scored at least 3 goals in 3 straight against Angers, and this one actually goes off today. So, in 4 out of 5. So we're going back to the train. I know they let us down last week. We're going back. Marseille team total over 2.5. Lastly, Bundesliga, we have Leverkusen, Holstein, Kiel. Leverkusen home matches, they average 6 total goals, and Kiel's average 4 on the road. So give me Leverkusen team total over 3.5. I see a beatdown coming, 4-1 type of final score.
And they need it. They didn't play that well, this week as far as what their offense is normally doing. So now we've got Premier League, La Liga, and then the bottom one is a little MLS right here in the States. Let's go. Can nobody else hear Charles?
I'm right here. All
right, continue. No, wait. I was like, don't happen to me today. All right, we couldn't hear you. We can hear you now. Please continue.
Yeah, EPL, Everton, first half team total over half a goal. I like them in as the dog in this spot, and Newcastle has actually conceded in 4 straight first halves, so let me go ahead and get Everton to score in the first half. La Liga, Las Palmas, Celta Vigo. This one's easy. We've had over 2.5, and both teams to score in over 2.5 is cashed in 12 straight, but I'm going to keep it simple with the over 2.5. Lastly, MLS, Sporting KC, LAFC. The 7 of the last 10 have had 3 or more goals, so we're just going to keep it simple also with the over 3 full-time goals in MLS.
Sporting Kansas City has become an over team. They really, whoever they play against, it's like 3-2, 4-3, whatever. LAFC, they're about 50 miles from where I'm sitting right now. Little MLS. That is your 5-pack. We do it every single Friday right here on Football Friday. Now, college football. And AB, I'm going to start with you. It's not a huge weekend. There's only one matchup of ranked teams, and that's Missouri and Texas A&M. But I think it could be a sneaky good weekend as far as teams trying to show up and show out. Now, Missouri, they're 4-0, but they haven't left until now. How much of an effect do you think it's going to be on a Tigers team that's an underdog, top 10, and going to a very hostile environment?
Going to a hostile environment in Texas A&M. All right, everybody knows it. College Station, it's loud for sure. And, Missouri's been there. They've done that. They've played them in the Big 12. They played them in the SEC. But here's the thing. When you're playing A&M and you're doing it on the road, you have to kind of slow your team down. And that's where I could see Missouri getting into trouble because A&M doesn't necessarily score a lot of points, but they could just drag you in the mud. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difficult part is it's like, can you play that style of game? If you can, you could blow them out. If you can't, it can turn into trouble very quickly.
Yeah, the Aggies still trying to, I think, rebound. They had that big week 1 game against Notre Dame, weren't able to get it done, and they've been sneaking into the top 25 every single week. Now, Big Ten, that's where a lot of the focus is this week, DG, as I come over to you, because that Michigan-Washington game, that's a repeat. It's a replay. It's a rematch of the national championship game. But Michigan and Ohio State, they're not the story right now. It's Indiana, and it's all about their head coach. Why has their head coach turned them into a team that potentially we can believe in?
Yeah, the Hoosiers are a well-coached team just in general, and they play the game really the right way, but they get off to hot starts. If you look at how Indiana is playing, they could win the Big Ten for sure, but also if you can kind of punch them in the mouth, I want to see how they respond. Nobody's really punched them just yet to start a game, but Indiana, their coach, Google him. He's good.
One of the greatest press conferences of all time. I simply win. Google me. Wow. And if you're Michigan, Soupy, and you're playing Washington, and I think it's because of the brand. Because Michigan has not been playing that good. They're not a top 10 team. They're just not. But the playoff rankings don't come out for a few weeks still. So Michigan still has some time to turn it around because the eye test tells me they're not. But maybe they could be. They're also a underdog this week going on the road.
And I believe that the wrong team is the underdog. They are starting to understand what their identity is. Run the ball, play defense, because Alex Orji, 34 passing yards against USC and 83 passing yards last week. They're not gonna throw the ball, but they have been winning. And I think even with Will Howard, as great of a passer he is, I think they can shut him down, keep this game close. And they're at 1.5. I've seen 2.5. I think they could come out flat out and win this game.
Wow, on the road, win it in Washington. Big Chuck. In the chat, somebody says, I think Ole Miss bounces back this week. Now, Lane Kiffin, he's a huge character in college football. And now that things have become the Wild West, we need guys like Lane Kiffin. But when they don't win and they don't play well, he acts out and he shows it. It's on his sleeve all the time. Now, they're going to South Carolina. They're laying 8.5. That number scares me just a little bit. Does it scare you?
All day. Ole Miss may win, but I think South Carolina will cover this number. And we may see some points in this one also. Remember the LSU game, it was a shootout. So if I had to lay anything, I would definitely back South Carolina plus 8.5 and the over 53.5.
And as we go to the other side of the Big Ten, AB, I think the NFL narrative has been dog-eat-dog world so far. They've been just barking and covering. But Ohio State, this is their first real big test when you look at the numbers. They're laying 18 at home against Iowa. Iowa, the last couple of years, have become like a laughing stock. No offense. Can't move the football. They're not what they used to be. Are they better this year? Should Ohio State be worried at all, laying almost 3 touchdowns at home?
The concern when playing against Iowa is that it's their defense, and it's tough, right? But go back to the bowl game last year. Tennessee beat Iowa 35-0 with Nico in his first start ever in college, right? So you just pour it on them. Once you get to 14-0, there's nothing that Iowa really can do. But it's going to be a physical game. So what you actually need to pay attention to is not this one. It's next week for Ohio State against Oregon. Watch the injuries because Iowa will physical you all day long. And that is absolutely a fact. And also, Soupy said that he saw some Michigan minus 2.5. We played that on Wednesday here on Stadium on Driving the Line. And if you took Michigan plus 2.5, good job because it'll be even by tomorrow.
Wow. Now, you mentioned Tennessee, and I think that's where I want to go next. When you only have one matchup between ranked teams, Big Chuck, and I'm going to go all the way around for everybody, it's kind of a nice reset. This is the first Saturday in the month of October. We've seen 4 or 5 games from everybody. In your mind, right now, if the playoff rankings came out today, who would be number 1 in your mind?
I mean, it'd have to be Bama off that last game, and Ohio State's right behind them. Well, let me scratch that. Tennessee, Bama, and then Ohio State. I have to give props to AB's Tennessee. They look the most dominant. So yeah, there we go. Old Smoky Top.
I love when
There
you
we
throw
go.
stuff like that out. DG, is Tennessee, I mean, Alabama and Georgia played a great game. Z-Man was there, part of the crew. But, man, they almost blew a 28-point lead. Could they be number 1 if it came out today?
Yeah, they could, but I wouldn't put them up there yet. Alabama has the biggest and best win so far. But you know what? It's all going to work itself out because this SEC teams, like, they're going to beat up on each other. And so it's going to work itself out either way throughout their schedule. But Tennessee, they should be top 5, top 3. I would agree with that.
All right, I got to come right to AB. All this Tennessee talk. They have looked dominant, and they're so much fun when you watch them play as well. But are they the best team?
I like not being ranked at the top. Let's just ride under everybody's coattails. Let Alabama be number 1. Here's the best part too. All right. Tennessee's going to play Alabama, and Tennessee's going to play Georgia here coming up pretty soon. So we're going to figure it out right there on the field. Also, I'll say this. You were talking about Tennessee and Arkansas. Look, this would be a really big trap game for Tennessee, except they're coming off of a bye week. So they've had all 2 weeks to prepare for this one. They're going to come out firing for sure.
I've got a question for you, but let me come to Soupy first. We don't want Tennessee, according to AB. DG thinks it could be. Charles is kind of on a couple different places. Where are you going?
I believe after last week, I thought Texas should have still been the number 1 team. I know Alabama beat a great Georgia team, but they blew a 28-0 lead at home. I don't think that you should have been ranked number 1. To me, it should be Texas, then Alabama, then Ohio State, then Georgia as my top 4.
All right, quick question from the chat, AB. Do you like Tennessee? I don't know what the number is, but do you like a first quarter play on the Volunteers?
Love first quarter and love first half. Wednesday, we played Tennessee first half minus 6.5. Yeah, I love Tennessee in all of this because they're coming off of a bye week and off of that Oklahoma game where they didn't really get the offense going. So that's really 2 weeks that the offense has sat. Josh Heupel won't let that long. Like, this is a game where it's like stepping on a spider in the house. You step on the damn spider and you don't mess around. You just get to scoring immediately and you take them out of the game and get on with it. Yeah, I like everything Tennessee first quarter, first half.
We have never seen a season or a year where style points mean more than they do right now. And I think when you talk about Josh Heupel and DG, we've got 30 seconds. And a lot of these coaches, we're seeing them say, you know what, I don't care who's on the other side. We're going to score, and we're going to try to look as great as we can because there's more at-large bids than we've ever had before.
Yeah, coming off a bye week, you can have a lot of your series scripted, especially to start a game. And so they're going to come out firing early and look at things that they haven't been doing as well. And I think they're going to see them just look remarkable in that first quarter, not the first half.
Joe in the chat says, gotta love Nico. Starting out hot tomorrow with a week of rest. Anytime touchdown, AB, 10 seconds at plus 100.
I love it. He'll run too. He'll throw him first, but yeah, everybody gets touches.
All right. It's one of those maybe sneaky good weeks as a lot of teams ramp up for a busy October. And of course, we're going to be here every single step of the way. Still to come, DTL on a glorious Friday morning. We got the Whiparound and plenty more. A look ahead as well. We're live on Stadium. All right, we continue on with all you degenerates out there. Now, I got to tell you this. This is one of the biggest stories that nobody's talking about, and that's the Savannah Bananas. And they just released their schedule for 2025 yesterday. And, guys, I love the little engine that could, because that's what DTL is. You know what I mean? And AB, they're going to play, all sold out, by the way, 18 Major League Baseball stadiums next year, 3 football stadiums next year. And he says the owner is a crazy guy in the yellow suit. that they have a waiting list of like 300 venues or something like that want them to come there to play. Is this the craziest story ever?
It's wild and it's brilliant because it's minor league baseball. Most cities lose money on minor league baseball. Look, you can ask Randall Mims. Him and Mama Mims took their son, little Noxie, out there to a Bananas game, and the tickets aren't cheap. It's hard to get them, man. Like, they sell out fast, dude. And here's the best part, too. The games are wild, right? Like, you got guys coming on. They're throwing on stilts. One guy's got a bat that's on fire. They're also trying to make it to the major leagues. Like, these aren't like just guys that they pick up like beer league softball. Like, these are minor league players that are trying to get to the major leagues as well. So it's like it's so much fun because you see really good baseball players, but it's also so much fun. And it's great for kids, man. It's great for families all around. It's awesome.
Yeah, because there's a time limit, DG, of 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's a fast-paced game. You have the golden hitter late into the game that you can put up any minute. There's so much that they're including, as well as the fans. When you include the fans, that's what it all comes down to. When you hit a pop fly, it goes into the stands. If they catch it, the batter's out. That's incredible. It's smart.
Charles, getting out, go.
Yeah, someone who's lost their minor league team in my city, I know how important it is to the community. So, yeah, hats off to what they're doing. I think it's incredible.
Soupy, I got 10 seconds.
I tried to get tickets to the Savannah Bananas. I worked for the stadium that they were playing in. I still couldn't get them. That's how hard these tickets are to get.
That is wild. That is wild to me. But, hey, supply and demand. We are back on Stadium in just 5 seconds. All right, welcome back. What a fast hour. Football Friday always is. We get you set for an entire weekend, college football and NFL football. Real quick, because we make the rules and we can do whatever the hell we want to do. AB, real quick, because we haven't hit on it the entire show. We talked about the Mets in one of the breaks in the National League, but the Yankees are a huge brand in all of sports. They're like the Dallas Cowboys, and we're going to talk about them in 1 second. But on the American League side of things, you've got the Yankees and then 3 teams. Wait a second. Are they all from the same division? What are we doing? Shouldn't the Yankees be an overwhelming favorite?
The Royals are a good baseball team, man. And when you get to the postseason, it's about who doesn't do dumb things. And the Royals don't do that. They pitch, they hit. The Guardians, they pitch, they hit. Same thing with the Tigers. Look at them. But I think we're not talking about the Cleveland Guardians, and we should be, because they could put everybody in the AL out. Like, if this team, they're already good if they're not hot. If they get hot at the plate, dude, they've got the pitching to match up with anybody. Be careful with that. But then again, the Tigers are fun too. But yeah, man, this is going to be a fun divisional series here.
I don't know why we haven't talked about the Guardians, DG, all season long, but they've been under the radar, really, really good.
Oops, sorry. I pushed it. It didn't come out. Sorry. The Guardians are the most consistent team, in my opinion. So it's hard for them to really just be talked about a lot. There's nothing sexy to them. They're just consistent.
Please don't ever say that line on the show ever again. All right. Soupy, you live in this is your squad. This is your team. This is your world. Talk to me.
The problem with the Yankees is when you get to October, pitching. The Yankees don't have it. Up until June 18th, they led the league in ERA. After that, they were 18th. The bullpen has been horrendous. The starting has been horrendous. I think that the Royals can take advantage of this. I already said the Yankees are going to get knocked out in their first round, and I still believe it.
Well, TJ says, I think I'm going to throw up, Charles, if it's a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. That'd be old school for us, though.
I would love that World Series. And I know the networks would also, but yeah, getting back to those Guardians, they kind of have that Royals formula 2014, 2015. If they get a lead, they get to the bullpen, it's pretty much clamped down. So yeah, I think they're a dangerous side, but yeah, I would love to see Dodgers Yankees. Who wouldn't?
Are you kidding me right now? Man here. Fox would love Dodgers, New York, the 2 biggest markets in the country. Are you kidding me right now? And do you know what, AB, is the equivalent of the Dodgers and the Yankees in football?
Does it belong in the NFC East and the AFC North?
Take it, big boy. Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, geez. Cowboys, Steelers, Sunday night football. Steelers 2.5, total 44.5. The look ahead looks like what, AB?
It looks like a game that the Cowboys have to win and a game that the Steelers have been winning forever under Mike Tomlin here. Look, the Cowboys have a lot of injuries defensively, but it's not like the Steelers' offense is really all that great, but they keep winning, man. Like, they keep winning. But the Steelers minus 2.5, that one scares me. Look, I think I would try to couple this with, like, if I'm going to take the Steelers with the spread, I'm going to play the over. This is a tough one. The Steelers are always great when they're the underdog. When they're the favorite, that's when it scares me.
Well, Robbie says Steelers by a mile. We can't cover running quarterbacks. That is true. But I know exactly, Soupy, where I would go with this one. And I would put the Cowboys in a teaser. There is not a world I live in that the Steelers can beat the Cowboys by 8.5 points.
Synergy, because it's exactly what I'm thinking. That 2.5 scares me so much. I would tease it. I would tease it the other way. Maybe give the Steelers 4.5 points. Make them a 4.5 point underdog. Tease it down a little bit because I think this could be a higher scoring game because, as we mentioned, Cowboys got a lot of injuries on the defensive side and they can't cover running quarterbacks.
DG, that sounds crazy to me to go the other way. Is it?
I think it's crazy to go the other way just because the Steelers, you don't know really who they are just yet. There's injuries on both sides, but honestly, Justin Fields could turn into a pumpkin any minute. And so there's no way I'm trusting the Steelers. I would go the other way with the 8.5 for the Cowboys.
It does have that kind of that feeling that, and this is just very Pittsburgh-esque, Charles, is that they never do anything smooth. They never have. I mean, Big Ben was not a smooth quarterback. This is just kind of what they do, who they are, and that's what their franchise has always been.
I love the Steelers in this spot. I love them. With the 2.5, I definitely look at that money line spot. I like their team total. Think this could be a sneaky over. I think Dak will probably throw an interception. So all type of ways to go with this one. But you definitely like the Steelers and over primarily, and then that team total coming in third.
All right, a reminder, 10 a.m. Eastern live Sunday morning, not on Stadium, but on our YouTube page, and then Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we will be live on Stadium and on YouTube. That is our schedule right there. Easiest way to do it. Follow us, subscribe to our channel, and every time we start something, turn on those notifications, and you won't be left behind. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that weren't here at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You got stuff to do. You got a job. You're not on break yet. Whatever it is, we respect that. But we like to go through every single play quickly in a little something we like to call the Whiparound. Oh, a lot of people in the chat love Justin Fields this week. But before we get to this, real quick, a question, Soupy, 5 seconds. How high would you ladder Justin Fields in rushing yards this weekend?
I think he can go well over 50 yards. I wouldn't take him any more than 60.
Okay. Limit it at 60. All right, AB, your game is today. Let's start right there.
Going to go Oregon first half team total over 20.5. We're also going to go Oregon second half team total over 20 or over 16.5. We're going to play those together. And if you play Michigan State plus 23.5, it makes a lot of sense as well. And real quick, let me show you this. All right. Anybody,
what do we got?
Right
what
now.
Do we got?
All right. Anybody who signs up to become a premium member here with DTL, $5.99 a month, I will mail you a Mims Lumber hat, brand new colors, new everything. I'll mail it to you today and send it out. Anybody who joins the crew today will get you all set up.
Wow.
How about that?
I encourage you to do it. It literally is the best value in all of sports. You get extra crew picks every day. You get the video of the podcast every day. You get a ton of stuff. You guys, you waste more than that on juice. Who are you talking to? All right, Big Soupy, what do you got today?
Aggies need to win the turnover margin, and they can do that. They have 4 games where they multiple takeaways, no giveaways. They beat Missouri. And let's take armed services under. If you love triple options, you love running plays, you're going to love Navy Air Force under 37.5.
Boom. DG.
Indiana is hot. They're going to stay hot. They've scored 14 in each game. We're going to go Indiana first half team total over 13.5 at -130. And then Garrett Wilson over 52.5 receiving yards at -114. Minnesota allows the most receiving yards to the wide receiver position. Then we're going to go to Austin Seibert over 1.5 field goals at -115. Going against the Commanders team. The weather looks good. Take Seibert. And then Josh Jacobs over 62.5 rushing yards at -114 because the Rams allow the most rushing yards to the running back position.
Boom and boom. Real quick, Big Chuck, you got a 5-pack. I just need the name, sir.
Marseille team total over 2.5. Leverkusen Holstall killed. Leverkusen team total over 3.5. Everton first half. They get a half a goal. Las Palmas, Celta Vigo over 2.5. Lastly, the Sporting Coaches and LAFC over 3.
I only got 30 seconds, AB. You open up a can of worms. People want to unsubscribe and then resubscribe so they can get a Mims Lumber hat.
Guess what? You don't have to do that at all because on Saturday's show, we're going to have a giveaway for existing members here. So we take care of you. We're not going to be that, hey, sign up for Comcast and you're going to get free cable for life. Forget everybody who already paid for it. Don't worry. We take care of you too. So, yeah, Saturday, existing members, I got you too.
That's who AB is. I hate the whole just focus on the new members.
Yeah.
We're going to change the game with these books. All right, great show today, guys. Really great show. I need that one shot because there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. Oh, it feels good today. You got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My attacker, Lomo, Big Chuck, DG, Soupy, AB doing yeoman's work. And never forget about producer man. 37,000 feet up. I am simply the coach. We are live every single weekday right here on Stadium. Good luck.